Here we go, here we go, here we go. Waiting for the YouTube. There we go. Okay, we've appeared. We exist. It's real now. Good morning, everybody. Alright, we're back for take two, day 2 of this journey. And I got some great feedback from some friends about the last one, which is much appreciated, and I'm going to keep working on the things that I want to work on. And I made some new... well, I tried a different thing with the chat, so I'm going to see, actually, if it works. It may not, it may. Give it a go. Let's have a go. So, please. Anything? Right. It's kind of just there, isn't it? Alright then. Let us see if we can get it working. See if we can get it working. Where is it? Here we go. That one. Alright, launch. Oh, that's what I have to do. Okay. Alright, so it has the correct theme. Just minimize that. Let me try something. So, let me try something here. How does that translate across there? It doesn't. Okay. I don't know how to make it do that. Maybe what I do is and then we go here. Ah, now it's kind of working. That's kind of cool. Alright, and then now I just need to somehow get it to pop up in here. And let me try something. Ah! It works! Chat is there. Alright, well, chat is appearing in its own way. Alright, this is cool. So I can now have chat appear on screen with me while I stream. So if you have something to say, it'll come up on the stream and you'll be in the VOD and in the stream, so you guys can participate a bit more. Awesome, I'm glad we got that working. I will play with the sizing and spacing of y'all as I get a better idea of what it's going to look like when things come up. So that's fine. So it's just going to be a big blank a bit of space when there's no one there, and that's going to be like that for a while. So that's fine. That's all good. But at least, yeah, I did get it working. I'm happy about that. That works out really well. All right. So what we're going to do then is so that and then, how do I want to see it is the question, I guess, right? And then, where did it go? I don't actually know. Things I'm not sure. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Alright, cool. I'm gonna put this over here. Yes, alright, cool. And that way, even if I can't see it because I'm clicked onto something else, I can see when stuff will pop up on here, which is grand. Don't know how to make that do the thing over there. Alright, let me just close that for a sec. And let's move this over here. And then let me see something. No, that's not what I want. How do I get out of this now? Oh, literally just that. Right, that makes sense. How do I make it do that over there? Can't do that. I suppose I don't really need to worry about it. Well, I don't really have a chat that exists at the moment. Something else one more thing again to figure out. Alright, let's not worry about it too much. Oh, I do want to show you guys quickly the other scene that I did create. So today we're going to do some battles. Actually, let's start with some of the feedback that I got from a friend, which is that some people who are watching may be brand new to Pokemon or brand new to this concept or brand new to the game in any way, and I am moving a bit fast with what I'm doing because I've played this game a million times. I know what I'm doing, but it's making it a bit hard for people to keep up, I suppose, which is fair enough. If you've never played the game or you're not experienced with Pokemon, that makes perfect sense. So if you are watching and you're new to Pokemon and you want to ask questions, please do, alright? And I am happy to slow things down, to talk people through things, to help you understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing things. And that's also partly why I've created this other scene So the scene is for when I go into battles. The battles in this game are quite hard. And originally I wasn't going to use the calcs until much later in the game when they get quite difficult. But I think with that bit of feedback in mind, what I will do is I'll use the calcs for every boss battle, big or small, easy or not easy. And that way I can show you guys the process, the things that I consider that goes into, things, team composition, move sets, natures, all of that. And I can introduce you slowly to my decision-making process and team composing process or battle strategy. And yeah, you can learn along with me or and ask questions as I go. That's fine. I'm happy for this to be a learning process as we go. And it helps me, honestly, because I'm still learning myself. So the more I get to talk other people through it or just share with people what I'm doing, the more it reinforces my learning, and I get better at the game and I get better at planning battles and strategies. And yeah, and then of course you get to see how it all comes together in the actual battle in the game and see whether or not I managed to effectively execute a strategy, or whether or not I missed something, or yeah, and it's good. And then afterwards, the good thing about recording and streaming this is I can go back and analyze. So if something goes awry or if it didn't work, I can go back and rewatch and try to figure out why, or I can look at the strategy. So it's a good overall learning tool just for analysis and things like that. So yeah. I'm going to show you the screen, right? So the screen that I'll go to is this one. So I have a slightly smaller camera, and I have the tools and resources that I'll be using to calculate things and to plan things. So let's just get it on my screen. There we are. So these are the documents that I'll be using. They're made by a lovely person called Light Glory. And yeah, it's just all the information you need for whichever battle we're doing. And I am going to be doing Faulkner first. So he's the first one. He's a flying type trainer, and he's got some little birdies there. And all the information I need is listed here: their types, their levels, their nature, the ability, and their moveset. And the item that they're holding as well, which is everything I need to be able to pop that into the above one, which is the damage calculator screen. So this one, I can put all my information into these sets, or I can use the pokey paste and import the sets down here, which is what I'll probably do for most of these. I already have for a majority, but mainly the later game battles. I haven't actually done the early game battles. And yeah, I can go put all my information in import sets and then search through my sets, and then it'll show me the calculations up here. If someone clicks this move or that move, what's the damage output, what's expected damage output, and I can make more informed decisions about what I want to do in those battles based on the information that this gives me, basically. And I can account for a whole bunch of things like whether or not there's weather, whether or not there's terrain, which is probably going over most everybody's head if you've never played Pokemon or if you're brand new to it. Don't stress it, don't worry about it. You'll see it as it comes up, and I'll explain it as it comes up. So yeah, alright, so I just wanted to share that with you, and chat will appear when I have a chat, when people are here watching one day. If you were here, it would appear beneath me still, so chat's still included in this screen, just in a different way. And yeah, and we'd be able to engage through this. And for the longer battles, so for the shorter battles, this isn't going to take all that much prep on my part, so I'm not going to bother to add, put music over top or anything like that. But for the longer battles, when we get further into the game, prepping for some of those can take a solid hour. It can take that long, because the battles are that difficult, and you've got to think of all these little chess pieces that you're moving around and how you're moving them precisely. So that can take a while. You've got to trial and error a bunch of different stuff, and that process can take over an hour sometimes. And when that's the case, I don't just want to have the gameplay like this playing in the background, because that would drive me mad, and I'm sure it would drive you all mad. So I'm going to find some music that I can play and make a playlist for when I do that eventually, so that we have some nice, I want to say relaxing music, so something that will help me focus, something that will help me get into that zone where you need to just be honed in on what you're doing and thinking about everything. And yeah, and I can find some nice music for that and find some, what's it called? And maybe different types of music as well, so that it's not always going to be the game audio. But we'll see how we go. One thing at a time. So the next step is to find the longer music and to, I think that's about it. Find longer music. No, not longer music. Find music that's allowable. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to go back to the other one. So yes, I can just transition at any point between the two, which is, I really like that. And I can go from this to that. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to mention is PokerLink. So I was originally going to have give that a go at connecting the game to that, and I have put that on hold for the time being because it turned into be a rabbit hole of learning to code, and I've decided I'm going to learn how to code using a certain script called Lua. So I'm going to learn Lua scripting and coding. Ooh. Right. Yeah, I'm going to learn Lua scripting and coding, and more just out of my own curiosity. Whether or not I actually do anything with it, who knows. But for now, I forgot I have sprite packs for all the Pokemon anyway, so I'm going to just include my... So once we've done the calculations over here, and I come back here, the team that I decide on, I will put their sprites down yonder. Yeah, and I'll just manually put the sprites in myself, and that'll do for now. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. That way you can see the team we're working with as we go into the battle. And obviously the teams will change for each different battle, because you need different pieces for each battle. So I'll change the team sprites before each battle, or do my best to remember to anyway. I might not always remember. And yeah, we'll go from there. So that's what how I've decided to progress with the resources that I currently have. And I of course have my cup of tea this morning, so I don't always have a coffee. I usually have a tea in the morning. Oh, it's nice and warm. Take a moment, guys. Grab your tea or your coffee or your warm beverage, whatever it is, hot chocky. Just have a sip. It's such a nice way to start whatever you do. Yeah. And there'll always be these little bits of me just chatting at the beginning and saying random things and updates and random thoughts and all of that. So I don't mind. And if it's not for you, like, I will learn how to, what do you call it? Because I can timestamp things so that if you watch this after the fact, like if you're here, I'm sorry, you have to endure my presence. I will get to the game. But if you watch this after the fact and I timestamp it for you, you can skip this. Like if you just want to get to gameplay and we've started playing the game, you can just skip this. You can still do it without a timestamp. It's just a bit more effort on your part. But yeah, I will learn how to do timestamps so that I can go in and do that to make that more accessible for people who just want to watch the gameplay stuff and not hang around for the chatting part of it. But chatting is a part of streaming, and honestly it's one of the things I like the most when I watch like other PokeTubers and YouTubers. I like the chatting parts, and yeah, maybe one day we'll just do a chatting stream, see how that goes as well. Like a get to know you kind of thing. I think that would be cool. Once there are people doing the thing, of course. Yeah. Alright then, I'm gonna have a few more sips of this because inevitably I will forget about this tea. It will go cold. And then the next time I try to drink it, it will be disgusting. I am notorious for forgetting that I've made a cup of tea. Particularly if I try to kid myself that I can do two things at once, like play a game that I love and remember that I have a cup of tea to drink. Alright, alright, alright. I'm gonna drink a little bit more of this. I'm gonna get to at least half. I gotta remember, I'm in no rush. Like, the world is not gonna end if I sit here for a bit longer and finish my cup of tea with you guys, you know? And we're back. There we go. So that's still a thing that I didn't figure out how to fix either. I do have a little notepad in front of me that I can make for this reason, so this time I figured I'd keep track of my notes rather than just say them out loud, because inevitably I forget, and inevitably I've forgotten to figure out how to make these not switch off from inactivity, I guess. Alright. Figure out how to keep headphones on. And it may be as simple as having them plugged into the source instead of being wireless, but I really don't want to have a cord anywhere around here if I can help it. So we'll see if there's another way to make it work. So the kitty and I had a lovely morning. We did outside time, supervised outside time, where she just basically roams through the garden and eats grass. That's, yeah, and tries to make friends with birds. Birds terrify her, but she wants to be friends with them as well, in her own weird way. But the birds love to mess with her. They don't swoop her, but they'll fly low enough to give the impression of doing so. And yeah, they have a bit of fun with seeing her get a bit freaked out by it. But she doesn't get scared. She just gets, ooh, what was that? And hello, curiosity kind of thing after the fact, which is really nice. And yeah, she's in bed now. There's a lump in my bed behind me that you can't see. That's her. We had good playtime this morning. Yeah. When she wants, if I'm not paying attention to her and she wants my attention, so other than just biting my ankles, she'll also like come up onto my laptop and just sit straight on it. And whatever I'm doing is just gone at the time. Oh. Alright, that's a halfway point. I can, reheat that when I take a break and drink the rest then. Alright, into the game we go. There we are. That's what I wanted. Beautiful. Here we are. Alright, so we're getting ready for the Faulkner battle. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the couch screen. This is the first battle, and you can still see the gameplay too, which is fantastic. So what we're going to do is looking at Faulkner's team, we can see he has a rufflet, so they're level 12, 14 and 14, so it's not too bad in terms of, so that's why there's a level cap in the game. So you'll see all my Pokemon are currently level 15, which is the level cap. What that means is they can't go any higher than that. So leveling in Pokemon games is usually done by battling trainers, like you saw me do in the last one, getting through the forest. I was battling trainers, and every time you KO or knock out a Pokemon, you get experience. So yeah, you get experience, and the experience bar will go up and your Pokemon will level up. Now in a game like this, that's what grinding is, right? It's doing the trainer battles, it's doing wild battles, and it's leveling your Pokemon up, I guess, in that very extended way of doing it. Now, because I'm not doing a grinding session for this stuff, I have what are called rare candies. So the game allows you to put these in. Excuse me. The game allows you to put these in, right? And what they do is for each candy, so I have 888 of these. Each candy is equal to 1 level, and you give them to your Pokemon or use them on your Pokemon, and they go up by 1 level every time you use one. So you need to get all my Pokemon to level 15. A lot of them started at like level 5, so that's an extra 10 levels. So you need about 10 per Pokemon in that sense to get them up to the level cap. But these are infinite in this game. I can just go get more if I run out, which is fantastic. So I never have to grind to get my Pokemon to level cap. I can just use these candies to get there. Alright. 1 second. Alright, cool. So we have the candies, which we use to level up the Pokemon, and that way we make sure we're not under-leveled for these battles, because that's really one of the only ways to well, not one of the only ways, but one of the more likely ways you might lose the battle is if you forget to get to the level cap and you're going in under-leveled. That can affect your ability to actually win the battle. And then obviously in the bag here we have all these items. So Pokemon can hold one item each. Not all items are able to be held or utilized in that way, but a lot of these are. Some of these are for specific Pokemon, so like light balls are specifically for Pikachu and Pikachu only. They do not work on any other Pokemon. And each item has its own effect. Like a light orb will double my attack and special attack on a Pikachu. So it'll get boost to its stats, which helps on a Pokemon that's as frail as Pikachu. You know, it isn't really that defensive, goes down quite easily, but this, at least with its speed tier and its priority moves, gives it a shot at kind of having a chance in battle. So it makes it a bit more viable, like a bit more usable, something you can actually bring to a battle and not stress too much about it going down. And eventually when you get like Volt Switch, which is a move it can learn, it can get those off to make sure it stays safe and get out of the battle. So a lot of these items yeah, are just things that boost like attack types and all of that kind of stuff. And you'll see those effects in the calc as we add the item and take away the item. And now the other common item in Pokemon are berries. So berries have different effects as well, healing effects mainly. So except for these berries raise happiness, but that's a different thing. So these kind of berries that I'm going through now, these reduce damage taken from a certain type of move. So every Pokemon has a type, right? And it has strengths and weaknesses. So each type is weak to certain types and resists other types. So if you have a Pokemon, let's say it's just a basic Pikachu. Pikachu is an electric type. Its only weakness is ground. There is a berry type that you can use that reduces the damage of super effective ground type moves. It's called a sugar berry. I don't have any right now because the game doesn't allow you to have them at this stage. So we can't use it. But I do have a bunch here for other types that the game has allowed me to have that I can use if those other ones come up in the battle. So it's just another way to add to your strategy. Like if Pikachu's going to be the thing that's going to, you know, win me the battle, but it's weak to that one type of move, I can equip it and send in the Pikachu and hope that it lives a hit because of the berry, right? Because it'll take reduced damage from that. It's called a super effective hit, so it'll take less damage from the from that hit. So those are the two main types of items that you can put on your Pokemon. So you can enhance their power, or you can ensure their safety with a berry. Like berries also restore health. Yeah, they restore health, and they have other effects as well. So they have a multitude of effects. And yeah, we'll play around with the items. For these first few battles, items are not particularly huge. Yeah, alright. So, looking at Faulkner, he has a Rufflet. Now, bird Pokemon are weak to ice types. They are weak to rock types, and they are weak to electric types. And my team is quite well equipped to handle these little goobers. And now he also has a psychic type Pokemon. I'm not worried about it at all because I have Grims here. Grims is a dark type, which means psychic type moves don't hit me at all. Now it does have disarming voice if you look as a move, and that's a fairy type move, which I am weak to. I don't have a berry that I can give myself, but the thing that I rely on in this battle is that disarming voice is quite a weak move. It's not stab on it, meaning it, you know, Flittle isn't a fairy type. So when it uses a fairy type move, it doesn't get what's called a same type advantage bonus, which is shortened to stab. So if you ever hear me saying stab, I'm not talking about, you know, stabbing someone with something, an object or anything. I'm talking about a kind of move that a Pokemon can use that's more or less effective depending on its type. So on a Flittle, which is a psychic type, a fairy type move does not come with a stab bonus, so it does less damage. So like for example, let's do let me show you how a calc would work so that I could just make sure, if I wanted to be certain, if I wanted to make 100% sure that I could take on this fiddle. So first of all, I'm going to go back to the calcs and I'm going to open what's called the pokey paste down here, which is going to take me here. Now I can copy and paste that, go back to here for you guys, and then I go over to my calcs. And what I do is I copy that data, paste it into here, and click import. Successfully imported 3 sets, so now I don't have to individually go through and type through. And I can click here, only show imported sets. So now, when I go in here, and I want to type in Flittle, here it is, Flittle, Faulkner, Pewter City. It's already there. And now all its information is automatically loaded into here. And that's that side done. Now I have to manually enter my side over here, so the Pokemon that I have and that I'll be using. So I'm using a Grim Snarl. Go blank set. Alright, first thing we do, you set the level. Level's 15. Now the nature. Nature that I've given, let's have a look. Adamant. So now we have to put in the information that we have about our Grim Snarl in here. Our Grim Snarl is adamant. It has the ability Stakeout. Great ability. Can do some good things. It doesn't have a hold item yet, so I'm not going to put that in. And then its moves, which we have here. So I have Covet. I have Fake Out. I have Bite. Alright, so I've only put the 3 moves in because these are the 3 moves that do damage. And this is to calculate damage, whereas the last move is what's called a status move, which means it doesn't do physical damage or special damage, it just has an effect in the field or to the other Pokemon, etc, etc. So it won't show up in here as anything in particular. So now if I look up here and I click on Bite, see how this says it's a guaranteed OHKO? That means it's a guaranteed 1-hit KO, which means I only have to click Bite once and this thing's going to be dead. And over here you can see Disarming Voice, possible 5-hit KO. So it's not going to do much to me. And I can see here, it is faster than me, which means it'll attack first. Now most likely when it comes in, unless it's getting switched in, which is unlikely, so most likely I'm going to switch into my Grim Snarl when it appears. It's going to use a move called Calm Mind, which is going to boost its stats. So it's going to boost special attack by 1 stage. And even if it's boosted by 1 stage, all that does is increase its chance from being a 5-hit KO to a 4-hit KO. I'm still not worried. I can calculate if it crits, I can calculate if it does other random things. And see, it gives me a range here, so it has a chance. So Pokemon, the damage that is done is, it has a random aspect to it. So it's not always going to do 12 or 16 damage. It's going to fluctuate between 12 and 16. 12 being a minimum, 16 being a maximum. So if I know 16 is the maximum, it's not going to do more than that. So I can make decisions and calculations based on that. So yeah, so say for example, if I did get into a sticky situation and my HP here has gone down to, let's say it's at 13. So it's at 13. So I can not take 1 more of that hit because it does between 12, its minimum is 12 and 16 damage. So the amount of HP I have left, if this is at 13 out of 58, I'm not going to live that hit. And I know that based on that calculation, so I can make a decision to swap out, or I can let it go down if I need to. So that's how it helps me make a decision about what to do. Whereas if I had any health left less than 12, I'm definitely dead. But if I happen to have like 20 HP left, I can live 1 more hit because it's only going to do a maximum of 16. Unless I get unlucky. So there is luck involved in whether or not I live that hit. So there's something, I know I'm talking really fast, but I just share a lot of information with people. So yeah, things to think about and try to work on after the fact. So, I have, there's something in Pokemon called a critical hit. It's only got a 12 point something % chance of occurring per move that you click. So every time I click a move, I have a 12 point something % chance to crit on it. And there are ways to increase that percentage and that crit ratio to give you higher levels or higher chances of critting a Pokemon. But say I got unlucky and the 12.5%, 12 point whatever % kicked in and it crit me, I can click the crit button down here to apply that, and then I can look at that. So see how the damage range has increased. Before it was 12 to 16, now it's 20 to 24. So it has that added extra damage on top that it can do. And even then, it's still a guaranteed 3-hit KO. So even if it got really, really lucky and it crit me 3 times in a row, or twice in a row, I'd be alright. And as long as I attach a berry, I'm going to be fine here. So yeah, I'm not too worried here. And now the ability down here, I think it's important to note that in my experience of playing through this game, which I've done a lot, is that the ability is actually randomized. Not randomized, so what do I mean? I mean that you have a chance for it to have either of its 1 or 2 abilities. So this has, it says here that this Pokemon has Frisk, and sometimes, yes, you'll get into battle and it'll have Frisk, but sometimes it has its other ability, Speed Boost, and it's random. So the docs only show one of the abilities. In my experience, Pokemon with 2 abilities, it will randomly assign either of the 2. And I'm not sure if it does this in all battles where Pokemon have 2 abilities. I've only noticed it in some of the battles, so in some of them it's random, and it's the same with the Wattrel. So if you have a look at the Wattrel, it'll say that it has it may have competitive or it may have Volt Absorb. So it can have either or. You don't actually know which one it's going to have. It's luck of the game which one you get. You can find out pretty quickly just by using an electric type move, and they'll swap into this immediately and it'll either get absorbed or competitive might go off, depending on what kind of electric move you use. So yeah, you got options, but this is how you explore what your options are, and this is how you go through and construct a team that's effectively going to be able to deal with these Pokemon. So I think we can safely say that Grimm's here is going to take out that Flittle on his own. I think the only thing to do is to give him probably an Oran Berry. So at this stage in the game, I've got access to some Oran Berries which restore health. So what happens is, if I take a hit or a couple of hits and say I get below half, I think they proc at a third. It's hard because sometimes it seems like they proc just under half health, and then other times it gets much lower before the berry procs. So I'm not sure on precisely where that is. Any hoops. This means that when that happens though, so when I get down to like yellow health or less than half health, the berry will proc and I'll get 10 health back, 10 health points. Which isn't much, but at this early stage of the game it's more than enough. It's all you really need, which is why they only give that to you. Now then, I'm probably going to lead. So Wattrel has Air Slash and Flash, which are 2, so in Pokemon as well, there's 2 different types of damage. There's physical damage and there's special damage. Physical damage is going to affect you based on your defense stat, and special damage is going to affect you based on your special defense stat. So if we have a look at my reg here, for example, so reg, you can see special defense is 69. That's quite a high, nice, quite a high special defense stat, and he's known for, or they're known for having a high special defense stat. So he's probably going to be a good wall to send in and take those hits and use Icy. You don't really want to Icy Wind it. I can Charge Beam it, I think is a more effective one. You don't want to Icy Wind because Icy Wind lowers speed, and if it happens to be competitive, it'll proc the competitive. I don't actually think it lives in Icy Wind, I mean, and that's the beauty, so we can calc that as well. So we can go over to the calc window, come up here and search for Wattrel. Now, and I can go into, so I have a Reg Ice, level 15. I think I've got you as modest nature. Beautiful. Your ability is Cheek Pouch, it's irrelevant at the moment. I have Icy Wind, and I have Charge Beam. Now, I wouldn't use Bulldoze. Now, Charge Beam only does nothing if it has Volt Absorb. But see here, Icy Wind, guaranteed OHKO, so competitive is irrelevant if it has it. So I just send this in and I click Icy Wind. I can also lead this if I want against the Rufflet. So let's put in Rufflet against my Reg Ice. So I don't outspeed it, but I do OHKO it. And it will probably go for Rock Tomb. But I can change, so something here, so this is another good thing. So in the calc here, if you have a look, my modest nature, this is what natures do. Natures raise one stat and lower another. So me being modest here means that my special attack, because I'm a special attacker, is higher and it lowers my attack. So it's like you make a compromise, so I can have this slightly boosted stat here with the compromise that my attack stat is lowered. I don't use physical attacks really as a Reg Ice, so it's all good. Bulldoze is a physical attack, but Bulldoze doesn't, flying types are immune to ground types, so there's no point clicking a move like that against a Pokemon like that. So yeah. So in this case, my speed is sitting at 24, and as we can see in the calc sheet here, the Rufflet has a speed of 25, so it's only a 1 point difference. So what I can actually do is I can change my nature to what we call Timid, and it will boost it only by a few points because we're not a speedster, but it raises it to 26, so I can outspeed. And now I can come up here and I can check. It has affected my damage output a bit, but it hasn't stopped it from being a guaranteed one-hit KO. So I can still beat it in one shot. And now I outspeed, which means I will move first, which means it won't get to attack me at all, which is ideal. So that's what we're going to do. So now that I've made that Timid in here, I have to make sure I change it in-game as well. So that's where mistakes can happen as well, is I could be playing with this and be changing things around and have changed the nature in the calc, but then I forget to change the nature in the game, and that can affect the outcome of the battle, especially later on when things like natures matter a lot in getting the right amount of damage calculated. Alright, so I think that's what I'll do. So let's get out of here. Let's go and get ready to do the battle. So, and I'll also give you a berry as well. So I'm really only going to be using 2 Pokemon for this. I obviously have other Pokemon I can use if something goes horribly wrong, but these are my main ones. I have to change that nature and give you a berry. Now the only thing I wanted to talk about before I go into the battle is abilities. Every Pokemon has an ability. If you are new to Pokemon and you are playing through for the first time, do not do a randomized playthrough. Do a vanilla playthrough. Play the game as it's intended to be played so that you can learn about abilities, learn about each Pokemon's natural occurring ability, how it functions, how it supports that Pokemon, how it detracts from that Pokemon, like if it gives it added weaknesses or not. Each ability has an effect. Some abilities affect Pokemon, some abilities affect your environment, some abilities affect the weather and other things. Yeah, some abilities affect your stats, some abilities affect your type, all of that kind of stuff. So abilities have multiple different effects, and it just adds another layer of, I guess, complexity to the game, things you have to consider. So here, my Reg here has an ability called Cheek Pouch, which is not its normal ability because I've randomized abilities in this. So it has another Pokemon's ability, which is part of the fun for me in this. This is basically a whole new Pokemon because it has it just by having that different ability. So Cheek Pouch, what that means is, so I explained berries before, right? So when you get to that half health and your berry procs, usually you'd only get 10 HP back. But because of my ability, my Reg Ice is going to get some more HP back, an additional amount back. So eating berries restores HP by 1/3. So on top of the 10 HP that I get back, I'll get an additional 1/3 of my HP back. So it makes that really useful in that sense. And on a especially bulky mon like this, it's really good, because not only is it going to take a long time to get below half health in the first place, but once it does, it's just going to heal itself back up, which is going to really frustrate my opponent, I suppose. And then if we look at Grimmsnarl, so Grimmsnarl has the ability here, Stakeout. Stakeout, it says in the description, doubles damage if foe switches out. So what that means is if I'm battling, if I have Grimmsnarl in against the Flittle, so it's Grimmsnarl versus Flittle, and he swaps out, he gets rid of the Flittle, and he brings in the Rufflet. If I've used Bite, that Rufflet is going to take double the amount of damage that it would usually have taken from that move. So that's what that allows. That's a pretty good ability in that sense, because if you can force the AI to switch, yeah, you're in for a good time, or you're in for more damage output anyway. All right, I have waffled a lot. Let us go back to the main screen and get this up, and now you guys can watch as I. So to change a Pokemon's nature in this game, it's not something that's as easy to do in the other games, but here you just go speak to this lady and you change your nature. So we bring up Reg here. Now we decided we'd make him timid. So there it is. Nice and timid. A little bit speedier. And we decided we'd give our Pokemon some berries. So let's make sure we equip those berries. Here we are. Oranberry. And see, there's a description of what the berry does down here if you ever forget what the berry does. I forget what berries do all the time. Especially which ones, like the move reducing berries, I forget so easily. So it's good that they include a description of what they do, if you're like me and you're a bit forgetful. Okay, so our two main ones have berries. Just because we want to be safe, I'm going to give everybody a berry, in case I do have to do some swapping around or I need to go into someone else. And I'm just going to have a quick look. What else did we have? Probably going to bring Karch over the Anitos, just because right now there's no rock moves on that one. So Karch is the only one I'm not going to give a berry to, because she is holding her light orb. She's a timid, she's there to be speedy. And Electromorphosis, so it's a suitable ability because she's an electric type, so Electromorphosis works by anytime she gets hit by an attack, special or physical, she gains a charge, which then powers up her next electric type attack, if I'm using an electric type attack. So that's really good, but because Pikachu is so frail, there's a very limited number of hits, so I don't get a lot of utility out of it, but if it might work in certain situations where I can come in, take a hit, and then get off, like if the electric type move is going to be what I need to get a KO or to finish the battle, that can work. So it's going to only work in certain situations, but it is, yeah, at least it's functional. Like if you get Electromorphosis on a Pokemon that's not an electric type or can't learn any electric type moves, the ability is useless. But we got lucky. We got it on an electric type, so it's at least functional. It's not the most broken thing in the world, but it's functional. It can do a thing. Alright. So Pikachu's there as a backup. We're not really going to use Basal for this at all, but I don't think I need more than these guys as backup. Yeah. Alright, let's go. Let's get into it. I'm just going to turn this up. There we go. There we go. Alright. So Faulkner's in this building here. Up we go. Here we are. Alright, so this is like the first mildly difficult boss battle of the thing. And it's a lot harder, it's actually a lot harder to do if you're playing this vanilla than if you play randomized. So if you're playing it vanilla, good luck to you. It's doable. But yeah, maybe not without casualties. Alright, let's go. I'm traveling in Kanto looking for information on Mega Evolution, but have found nothing so far. A battle is what you're looking for? I guess I could spare the time. Demonstrate the power of elegant bird Pokemon. Gotta love it, he's passionate about his birds. And here comes Zeroflit. and we're just going to click Icy Wind. See? And we go first, just like we planned would happen, and it's happening. And it's gone. So I don't even have to deal with that little bird. The bird's just not there. Now, it probably goes out, yeah, into Flittle. So our plan for this is to use Grims, so we're going to swap to him. There we go. So we've swapped to him. And it's Calm-Minded, which we've accounted for in our calculations. And it has Speed Boost. See how it has a different ability to what it said in the docs? That's because you can get either or. Alright, but we just click Bite here. So it's actually going to just Calm Mind again. So he's throwing, because this is going to kill it in one shot. Bye, Flittle. Alright, and that little goober is gone. Which leaves just this guy here. Alright, so I'm going to swap back into Reg for this. Here we go, go Reg. And Air Slash. Air Slash isn't going to do much, very little. The risk with Air Slash is it can flinch. So moves in this have their own added effects. For example, Icy Wind's added effect is if the Pokemon lives the hit, its speed will get lowered. Air Slash's added effect is it has a chance to flinch, which means if you flinch for that turn, you don't get to attack. So whatever you were planning to do gets stopped in its tracks. So it only has a chance to flinch, it doesn't have a... it's not guaranteed. Whereas... yeah, we'll see if it happens. Nope, no flinch, so bye-bye Wattrel. So this will also one-shot it. And it's gone. Okay. And that's it. He only had 3 Pokemon, and they all went down in one hit, and if that seems really, really easy to you, that's because it was. But it gets much, much harder, and I should be so lucky that that was that easy to do. It was only easy because I had a legendary Pokemon, you know, on my squad, and a really good other Pokemon. And that's what the randomizer does, is it gives you power early on, in the form of those Pokemon. Whereas when you play vanilla, you've got little goobers, unevolved little goobers, like my Bulbasaur, that you might have to use if, you know, depending on what you got for the rest of your team. So yeah, it can put you in some interesting and some sticky situations, but that's the whole point of the game, is to puzzle solve. And having an easier early game for me, I like that because it's less stress and you can get through. And for me, the game gets super interesting later on, when things get much, much harder. So I'm trying to get to that point, I guess, a bit quickly. So that's our first battle done, so we're going to save the game. Success. Alright, and now we'll go back in here because I want to be able to access my box and the nature lady. So now if we go back to the calc screen, so we have defeated Faulkner successfully with no deaths. Nobody died. We're all good. If you were doing a Nuzlocke and you did lose somebody, that's when you would have to put that Pokemon aside and no longer use that Pokemon. But we're not doing a Nuzlocke, we're just doing a playthrough, so if someone had died, big whoop. Alright, next battle is Brock. Brock-kun. Aww. Okay, so Brock is a Rock-type trainer. So he has Rock-type Pokemon, and he has his little Varoom there as well. So, let me bring up... here we are. Alright, so having a look at Brock. He's got the Alolan Geodude. This team might be alright for it as it is. Let me have a quick look in the box. We might bring the Calyrex. I think we bring the Calyrex. Probably over the Pikachu. I don't see Pikachu doing too much in this. No. Yeah. Alright, we'll leave the Pikachu. And the rest of you aren't doing much either. Alright, cool. Alright, so the Alolan Geodude is only slightly annoying, so it might go boom on us, but I can just use... can use Gur here, because the worry about the Geodude is that it's going to go boom on us. So you'll see it has a move called self-destruct. It literally is going to go boom, but it will die, take itself out in the process. So if it does use it, which it likes to do if it gets on low health. So this thing you can't kill in one shot. So in the previous battle, we were defeating Pokemon in what's called one shot or OHKOing it. This one you can't because it has an ability called Sturdy, which means if I use, for example, a move like Bulldoze that ordinarily might take it out in one shot, its ability Sturdy means it's going to hang on right at the very end on 1 health. So it'll bring its health bar all the way down to 1 HP, but it'll live, so it's going to be able to do something. And this particular Geodude is holding an item called a Custap Berry. And what that does is when it gets on that low health, is the berry activates and it increases its speed. So it might have been slower than me before, whereas now it can use my speed. And if it goes for self-destruct, which is a powerful move, it has nothing to lose. Like, it's a move that they click when they've got nothing to lose because the next hit's going to kill them. But now they are a bit faster thanks to the help of the berries. So they go boom, and in the hopes that it'll also take you out. Now self-destruct is a normal type move, which rock types like Gur here resist. And self-destruct is also a physical move. So if you're looking at whether or not it's going to hurt a lot, you can look at the defense here. So we can see that his my guy's defense is 69. And he's going to take that quite well. And he resists, and if I further want to reduce damage, I can give him a berry to do that. But I'm not too worried. Not too worried about it. Because the most damage that the Geodude's going to do to me is through Bulldoze as well, which I am weak to. But I don't have a berry for it. And that will be fine. So yeah, I think we lead with Gur here. And now I have Reg in the back. Reg is great for the Archon. Never know how you're supposed to say that. Reg is great for the Archon. It's obviously got the Icy Wind. Reg is only downside here is it's weak to rock, and it's a rock type trainer. But that's you can, and the defense isn't too high. So rock is a predominantly physical attacking type. There are special rock type moves, but he doesn't have any on his team here. They're all special, so defensive Pokemon are going to do better here than especially. But Reg is fine, but we do have berries. We do have the berry to reduce rock type damage, so I'm going to give Reg that berry. So Reg will be fine to come in and take out the Archon. And then we have the Onyx. Onyx I'm not worried about. Onyx I can use either Basal or Lyre for. Probably Lyre. And then the Varoom I'm probably going to use Grims for. Yeah, probably going to use Grims or Gur if Gur still has enough HP around. But I can plan for that by giving Grims. So the main thing that the Varoom does is it uses a move called Toxic, which poisons me. So it has the effect of poisoning me, and the poison damage racks up each turn. So at the end of a turn, after I've been hit by a damaging move, instead of me just being able to attack, my HP will be reduced further by the poison. But I can give myself a berry that will heal that poison off, so that it will have to poison me again if it wants to waste its time doing that, which it might. We'll see. It does have Gyro Ball as well. That I can calc. But its main thing is to poison me, so we want to come down here to... So see here it says it reduces damage of one super effective rock type moves, so I can give that to my Pokemon who are weak to rock, which is my ice types here. These two. Now the others don't need those kind of berries. If I did want to weaken the effect of the self-destruct move even more, I could give one of my Pokemon a Chillin' Berry. Now, normal type moves are not super effective against anything, but that's why there's a berry that just reduces the damage from a normal move. doesn't have to be super effective, because it's never going to be super effective. So that could help out too, but I don't feel the need to give my Pokemon that kind of a berry. And I'm going to give him, he's already got an Oran Berry. Now, these guys all have, these two have their move reducing berries. You have a berry that's to get rid of poison. I'm going to give you that, and I'm going to give you, you already have an Oran Berry as well. Excellent. Alright. So, I obviously haven't done any calcs yet. I have enough information in my head about all of this stuff to be able to make the decisions I need to go forward, but for anyone curious to learn, I'll briefly go up into here, go into here, and I'll grab the Pokepaste really quickly. So, come back. Clear this one out first, so you gotta select all, delete, paste, import. Successfully imported. Beautiful. Alright, so now I wanted to calculate Varun, Brock, sorted, against my Grimmsnarl, who's level 15, Adamant, Bite. Bite is the move we're probably going to be using. Bite's a 2-hit KO, so it has Gyro Ball though. See how that has a chance to 3-hit KO me? So I am going to be faster than it for a little bit. It does also have a way to lower my speed, so if it lowers my speed, I still outspeed on the next turn. So that's fine. That means it can't do more damage to me in a shorter amount of time. Shorter amount of turns. Alright, so we live that just fine. And sometimes that's all you're going to use the calcs for, is to check that you live a hit or that you live a move. Not every battle requires you to plan everything out meticulously, especially, but if you're new to it and you want to learn and understand calcing, by all means be as meticulous as you need. Like, you're on nobody else's time but your own, and it's going to help you learn how to navigate through the game, and it'll set you up to deal with the more difficult battles. So, alright, we're going to go and do this battle. But that's what each one of these battles entails, is this prep, right? Now I've got to remember, go back here. Alright, go back. Alright, here we go. It is time for Brock. And then after this we'll see. I might go for a little bit longer and get a couple more encounters. I might wrap up. Leave it as a slightly shorter stream for the day. This guy here just explains the rules. This game has its own inbuilt set of rules. I suppose I can read through them. So 1. Accuracy reducing moves and evasion raising effects have been removed from this game. Baton Pass is removed from this game. Sleep Clause is in effect, meaning only one Pokemon per team can be put to sleep at a time. Oko moves are banned from the game. Removed from the game. The bag is inaccessible during boss battles. There is a soft level cap before each boss, which reduces experience gain significantly when the level cap is reached. Pokemon will disobey when level too far above the level cap. Consumable held items come back after trainer battles. Battle style is forced to set. You cannot thief items from trainers. You are automatically healed to full in most boss battles to prevent certain exploits. If you ever want me to reiterate the rules, just talk to me again. Good luck, Challenger. Alright, so if you didn't understand what most of that meant, don't stress. It's more from a competitive standpoint. If you've never played competitive Pokemon, most of that isn't going to mean a thing to you. Don't worry about it. You can figure out each rule set for yourself as we go. And I can bring up instances of it. Now, this guy here... so each gym has trainers that you can battle. You can skip them. I don't want to skip the trainers. I suppose we can just have Go out the front. It'll be alright. They're not too hard to beat. Some of them in certain gyms are like mini bosses that you will have to battle. They're unavoidable. The game will force you to engage with them. But the docs have them included, so you'll be able to look them up and check. Alright, I got intimidated. Intimidated means that my attack got lowered, which is unfortunate, but we're just gonna bulldoze. Hisuian Arcanine, Growlithe is Such a cute little pupper. And we have our little Minecraft mushroom goober guy, who's pretty cool. I don't mind this stage and the second stage. I'm not a fan of Garganackle. I don't know. It's just a giant piece of salt. One more will take care of this. Beautiful. Alright, so we've defeated that guy. So now if I look at my team, you'll see that I've still had damage taken. Now, one of the rules that is explained below is if I go directly, so I don't have to heal, I can go directly to Brock now and click A, and the moment I do, my team will be fully healed. So what that means is in this battle, if I had a status condition inflicted upon me, like if I was burned or paralyzed or poisoned or put to sleep, that condition will now be gone. And it mentioned in the rules that prevents certain exploits, and I'll go into more about that later. You don't need to know about it for now, but just know that I don't need to heal here. I can just go click on Brock and my Gur will come out fully healed. Alright, here we go. Brock, bring it. Sends out the Geodude. I send out my Gur, and see? Full health, so there's no damage been taken there. So that's a good little aspect of this game. We are going to bulldoze. And see, it lives on 1 because of its ability Sturdy. It hasn't died. And I've lowered its speed. It's going to lower my speed. Because I was originally faster, I'm still going to be faster this turn. See how that didn't do anything at all, really. So now, it's going to eat its berry. And it's going to get fast. But he's actually going to just withdraw, which is fair. And go out into Onyx. See, this is ideal, really, because now I bulldoze. This Pokemon also has Sturdy, and now I've broken its Sturdy. Now this is a good spot to be in. I broke its Sturdy, but I didn't proc its healing item. So now I can swap out into Lie here. Get the Misty Surge up, which is actually great for this battle. I completely forgot that I had this. This means I can't be poisoned at the moment, so if Varun does come out, it can't poison me. Awesome. Alright, we get Bulldoze, our speed gets lowered. Onyx is quite fast, so I don't know if I still outspeed it, but we're going to Mega Drain here. We do, we outspeed, and this will KO. And he's gone, so that's Onyx taken care of. Now then, here comes Arch. Alright, so our Arcan answer is Reg here. We go straight out. Get out here, Reg. Alright. Now it's plucked me, which means it's taken my berry, which means I don't have a reducing one anymore, which means it's going to get a free hit off, but I live 1. We live 1, our speed is lowered, but this is going to kill it in 1 shot, so the threat is completely removed. It can't come back in and do this again. And it was a crit anyway. So that crit there, we got lucky, and you saw it came up in red, critical hit. So it did more damage than it was going to do anyway, which is irrelevant, so the crit did not matter in this case. Sometimes the crit matters, sometimes it doesn't. It did not matter, that was going down anyway. Alright, here's your Varoom. Now you can't Toxic, which means it's likely going to just go for something, probably a Steel type move actually. So I would be probably coming in on a Gyro Ball here. Or it might try to slow me down. We'll see. I'm still going to go into rooms, we're just going to see what happens. It does bulldoze me. Now I still outspeed it, so it's fine. We're fine to stay in. And attack it. Ah, and now the terrain has returned to normal. So terrain only lasts 5 turns. And that's gone. So now it can poison me. We pop its air balloon. I flinched it. See, that's a flinch. So it couldn't actually do what it wanted to do, which works in my favor. And now I can pick up the KO without any additional stress on top. And here we have the Geodude. Now, I am not sure if this is faster than me, or if it's going to explode, but to be safe, we can go out into Gur here. just in case he wants to go boom. Nope, he goes for bulldoze. That's fine. Now, it may be faster than me and it may go boom, but I don't think boom is going to do much. No, still not faster. Alright. So, he's gone. He didn't take his opportunity to go boom, which worked for us, but we played it safe. So the play that we made was what's called a safe play. We just made sure, just in case he wanted to go boom, that we were go into the best Pokemon who would have survived that hit. Alright, and we get a TM for our troubles, and with first we're going to save the game. Always save the game. Oh, I said I was going to add the sprites and I didn't. Oops. I got a little carried away in explaining things, I think. Alright then. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to heal. And I'm going to take a break. I think it's break time. And yeah, go to the bathroom, reheat my tea. You guys take a break too. I've done a lot of explaining for people who might not, might be very, very new to this and trying to figure it out for themselves. I know I don't need to explain every single thing all the time, but I like explaining things, so I'll try to do what I can as I go, and the more I get into it, and the more we'll just see what kind of people end up being the ones who watch this, so I can cater and tailor to them as I go, as people appear one day, someday. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, and we're back and stretching. Stretching. Oh. Oh. Alright, we've done our stretching. Alright, actually, so the first thing I want to do is I want to add, we are going to get some more encounters. We do have, do I still have Thunderwave on you? I do. Alright, so I'll put you in the front. But I'm going to put this party sprites on the screen real quick so that I have actually managed to do that. Alright, let's do that real quick. We're gonna add this register. Actually, we'll go in order of party. Okay. Browse. Here. And then and we're gonna use this one maybe? Let's have a look. It'll do. And here it is. Alright, so Zeb Striker is our first Pokemon, which will pop here. Go like that. Yep. There we go. Alright. So there's the first one, that's Zeb Striker. Now it looks a bit different to that because it's a different form in the game. Same Pokemon, different form. I don't have individual images for the different forms in this game, so some Pokemon will not look how they look in game, which is alright. There's nothing wrong with that either. So that's our first one, and then we'll go next one. Do greens next. Here we go. We just want that one, I think. Yep. There we go. Yep. Cool. And then we're going to do Regice. There we go, there's Regice, and then we're going to do Red Rock. There we are. Alright, then we've got Bulbasaur. Actually, Bulbasaur's about to evolve. Okay, let's do Ivysaur then. Ivysaur, and last one, Calyrex. Wait, that might be a shiny Sprite, hang on. Get rid of that one. My bad. Let's get a regular one. We just want a regular one. This one. Nope. Not that one. Alright, there we go, that's the right one now. Glorious. Alright, so there's the team. Yeah, got them nice and set up, and then I have space here for, I don't know, something, or I can shift them all down, but I like them where they are for now. Alright, so now, yeah, we can just at all times have the team on the screen as we do the thing, which is exciting. Okay, so that's the current squad. And we have saved the game, and first things first, so after each gym is defeated in this game, you get a new level cap. So I can raise the levels of my Pokemon, which means some of them will evolve, a lot of them will stay the same because they're either already fully evolved or they don't evolve. But Bulbasaur will. So we're gonna go get the rare candies and just see. I click and it was elevated to level 16. It's gone up a level. Now 17 all the way up. Oh, we're learning Flame Charge. We can take that over Tail Whip. So as you level up, Pokemon will learn new moves. And 22 is the final one. I'm not going to take Pursuit. So 22 is now the level cap, and see, it won't let me, it won't have an effect because of the level cap. I can't over level, which is what I love about this game. So it just means I stop there. But I can go on to the next Pokemon and do Grims. Assurance is pretty good. We'll take that over Fake Tears. Swagger, no. And now we're at level cap. Alright, Reg, it's your turn. And Gur's turn. Some Pokemon don't start to learn new moves for a while. The Regis are both like that. They're not going to get a new move for quite a while. Yeah, we'll do Liar. Ooh, Giga Drain already. So Giga Drain is an upgrade on Mega Drain. It's just a more powerful version of that move. Alright. Here we go. First evolution. I already know what it's turning into, but, you know. It's going to be an Ivysaur. But it's, because I've randomized the abilities, its ability is going to change. So that is one cool thing. So now I get to check its new ability and see what it is. Let's have a look. Valiant Shield. Alright. So that's a really good ability. The fact that I'm going to still evolve one more thing, and that means I get rid of this ability, which is a shame. But that's the luck of the randomizer. So Valiant Shield raises my defense on entry, which means I get a one-stage buff to my defense when I enter into battle. Yeah. That is excellent, so I'm happy with that. But I wish it would keep it, but it won't. So when I turn into a Venusaur, after the next few level caps, yeah, we will lose that. Mega Drain is fantastic over a Magical Leaf. And the more you play this, the more you'll come to understand moves, what are good moves, what are bad moves, what is effectively the exact same move but slightly more powerful. There's a lot of stuff like that. And there are things that will affect your decision whether or not to run a move or not, because obviously Pokemon can only you can only run 4 moves at a time if you want to put rid of one of the other ones. So you have to think carefully about what you keep, what you get rid of, what you put on there, and what you choose to use. Yeah. So that you can make the most of those 4 moves with the Pokemon that you have. So I bought a bunch of Pokeballs last time. At the very end, it took me the whole stream to get there. I do want to wrap up soon. We'll get one more encounter and then we'll wrap up for today because it is lunchtime and I have to eat. There we go. And obviously the more I do this, the longer I will be able to do streams for as I adjust. But right now, it's a lot of talking for 2 hours, which is of course what a stream is meant to be. And I don't mind it, but I do notice, obviously, I feel it in my voice, I feel it, yeah. You just feel it. It's not bad, it just means I gotta drink the water and rest the voice. And also just train the voice too, strengthen those muscles. Alright, so here we are, we can get an encounter. Have I got the infinite repel on? I do now. We'll turn that off. Make sure repel is disabled. And let's go. Let's see what we get. Okay, so it's not the same Pikachu, but it is another Pikachu. And I am doing no dupes, and that applies to species, so I cannot have another Pikachu. So we are going to run from this encounter, and it's not forfeiting it, it's just we're not doing a dupes, and that is applying to species, so that means I'm not getting any other forms. It's the same for Zebstrika, so if I ran into a normal Zebstrika, I would not catch it, because I already have a Zebstrika. It's a different form of it, but I want to use different Pokemon in this run. As many different ones as I can. Ooh, like Hitmonlee, which I don't think I've had in a run yet either. So fighting types are always a good pickup. Actually, we want to see if we're getting the quick ball first. Stay in the ball, stay in the ball, stay in the ball. Nope. Oh, rude, man. Ah, this is gonna hurt. Yeah, we don't want to be here. Did I not get Pokeballs? Why is it just quick balls? We might go into the cell, I think. It has quick draw. I mean, I for some reason I thought it might have had pursuit there, but we get the Valiant Shield, which is good. It's meditating. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Don't meditate. It's raising its attack. I don't want you to. We're gonna sleep powder. You avoid the attack. Oh, and we avoid the attack. All right. It's an attack avoiding thing. Jump kick. Okay. Luckily, it's not very effective, and we have that boosted defense to match its boosted attack. Woosa. Alright, you're asleep. Let's just throw some Pokeballs. Quick draw proccing when it's asleep. Nope. Why do I just have quick balls? Did I really? I could have sworn I purchased like half a bazillion Pokeballs at the end of the last one. Alright, it's awake. It's meditating. Stop it. I suppose I could, God. Lord, this thing is getting powerful. Go to sleep. Let me check something. Alright, I'm gonna go into the calcs really quickly. And put Hitmonlee in. Need to clear that. Hitmonlee. Level 11. I have an Ivysaur. Out here at level 22. Modest. And I have Sludge. Sludge is resisted, so I'm thinking maybe it'll live one. It does by just. I think to have a better chance at catching this, I'm gonna have to. Alright, let's do it. I can't poison it because it's asleep. Whew, okay, that is some good damage. So this is ideal for catching it. And I really have to check if I have Pokeballs or not because, yeah, according to this, I do not. Alright, but we got it. Alright, just as well because that thing was setting up on us and we do not want that. Hitmonlee. I'm gonna call you Only. Only. My one and only. Okay. Alright, so we got our encounter for this route, and that's all I want to do for today. But let's go have a look at him and get him leveled up. And did I or did I not? No, I did. I bought tons of Pokeballs. It just wouldn't let me have the option of using them. Alright, interesting. We'll see if that changes on the next on the encounter after that. Let's just heal everybody up. Brilliant. Alright, let's have a look at you. Hello, Only. That. Candies. Alright, welcome to the team. Brick break. Fantastic. Focus energy. Roll and kick. Has crap accuracy, and I don't care for jump kick. Jump kick is more accurate though. I'll get rid of rolling kick. So focus energy increases the likelihood of landing a critical hit. So if I use focus energy first before using a move, instead of it being a 12% chance, it'll be, I don't know if it's doubled or if it just adds an additional chance for it to crit, which is wonderful. Alright, let's have a look at your ability and see if it supports you, hinders you, or is entirely useless. Oh, that's right, you have quick draw. We saw this. Alright, quick draw. It is what it is. I mean, it's like I'm holding an item called the Quick Claw, which means it gives me a 30% chance to move first, whether I outspeed or not. So it's gonna come in handy in some instances where I'll get to outspeed my opponent. Yeah. Aw, he's lonely. My only is lonely. That's alright, my dude. We're gonna change that. We'll change that to adamant. No one should be lonely. Alright, there we go. Alright, there we go. I can put this back in the party to return it. And now we have one more team member that we can one more chess piece that we can move around the board and use. Yeah. Alright, let's save the game. Alright guys, I'm going to call it a session here. It's been a good time. I did a lot of explaining. Maybe you found it helpful, maybe you found it distracting from the game elements. That's alright. I'll figure out why you're here and what you want in time as we gather people. And yeah, we'll adjust accordingly and do the things. But today was good fun. It felt better, I guess, because I already had everything kind of set up and I wasn't too worried about checking things and all of that. I'm still going to rewatch this later just to make sure, like, to pick up on things. And yeah, I'll keep learning, keep doing new stuff, keep trying new stuff, and incorporating that into the streams. And including you guys in the journey, of course. Thank you for being your beautiful selves. Go do good things.